Welcome back to the Gridiron Report with David Wright. So I wanted to go over, this is going to be a pretty quick one today, but I wanted to go over the stuff going around today from people like Kevin Sheen and others um, regarding our quarterback and whether people think he's actually injury prone or it was a lack of talent because our GM didn't actually do his job until this year, where Jaden will have all the weapons he needs and will be able to address going down or taking the check down instead of actually wanting to win. Like, we brought in a kid that was the second overall. He took us to the NFC Championship. He was touted as the savior of a horrible organization. Then our GM failed. Just period. That when you brought in your franchise quarterback in 2024 and your big move in 2025 was only a left tackle, you failed. It's just is what it is. You look around the league, you see what people do when they get a quarterback. Did Drake May have to deal with having nobody? No, they spent the most money of any team to make sure he had weapons and he wasn't forced to be the savior. Well, it took Adam a little while to get it, but he finally addressed it. So as you see people around like Kevin Sheen, hell, as far as that case, my best friend, he's not smart enough. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. He's not smart enough to go down. He'll get hurt again this year. It's the most ridiculous, pathetic take I've ever seen in my life. We watched Josh Allen go through this. We watched Lamar Jackson go through this. We've watched many, many quarterbacks be brought into a shit team, and the GM was sitting on his thumb, and it ended up getting the quarterback hurt a few times. And then they finally got it and gave him weapons, and the injuries started to decrease. Um, this is exactly what, in my opinion, I believe is what's happening with our team. I don't believe Jaden is injury prone the way everyone's screaming because they want to be right. They don't care about anything else. Um, I do believe it was malpractice on Adam Peters' part in 2024 and 2025 because whether we went to the NFC Championship or not in 2024, we still had a shit team. That's just plain and simple, guys. Just because we made the NFC Championship doesn't mean Adam gets credit for us being a good team because we absolutely were not in any way, shape, and form. We were one of the worst teams in the league on both sides of the ball in 2024. And we did nothing at all except for bringing in a left tackle in 2025. We did not try to help our quarterback until 2026. Now, as much as I've talked crap on Adam at this point, I want to clarify by saying he has done one of the most amazing off seasons this year I've ever seen. I approve across the board in every way. I like all his signings. I think even up to the time he took to sign Stephon Diggs. I mean, I know our fan base, and probably me too in my own heart of hearts, wanted it done quicker. But wasn't it kind of smart for him to wait until the last minute just to make sure nothing spectacular dropped onto the market and we had already filled the spot? I do like most every step that Adams made this year, except for we know the one, and that was the center position. Um, and I do believe it was he wasn't any good at blocking in the run game, and they were having problems with him committing to things. So releasing him was a great move as far as I'm concerned. Releasing him when we did was the bad move. I do believe we could have waited a while, but I believe Adam had the thought, let's put him on the market, give him time to get picked up. I could be wrong. It could have just been a knee jerk reaction, him throwing him on the market. But I agree with every move Adam has made except for that center fallow. He's done great. Um, However, I want to know what y'all think. I've heard Kevin Sheen. I've heard my best friend. I've heard others talk about Jaden, which, in my opinion, is majorly disrespectful. Um, you have to figure that this man had no weapons. Now, what will he do? Will he protect himself when we go into this year? We don't know. On either side, the haters, um, like my best friend, are the ones that have Jaden's back, like me. I'm glad Moody is gone too. That was a good decision because now Stevens gets the kicks through the rest of the preseason. I mean, he was destroying him. The numbers weren't even close. And I believe that was a mercy cut. Let's get him out into the market. He'll get picked up and let him get a job. I think the center position might have been a little bit of a knee jerk reaction, but no one's perfect. So if all you can say about Adam this year is, man, he really fluffed that center position, man, we're doing great. Not just good. Like, no one ever hits it out the park with no losses. And Adam is done close to perfect as you can get. So, like I said, the question is, what do you think about Jaden's position? Do you think that he will learn to go down, live for the next play, and knowing he has dogs on the field with him now, will know that there's other players to help him get the next play? Or do you think that he will be hurt this year and we'll be having a really hard, difficult question about whether Jaden is the real savior of this organization or if it was just a 1 year run because he's injury prone? I don't think anyone judging Jaden before this year plays out is an intelligent person. Just don't. I think you've got to see this man with a real bevy of weapons to know if he'll go down. My best friend says, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. He'll do it again. And I told him, you've never been in his position. You played college ball. Whoop-de-doo. This kid spent his whole life getting to the NFL. He was picked number 2 overall. Came to the team that had been an absolute laughing joke for 30 years. Came in and took us to the NFC Championship. Then you took the same kid in his second year and didn't give him no help at all. Do you think that's Adam malpractice? Or do you think it's Jaden not getting the fact that he just needs to go down? Or do you think it's a mixture of the two? Personally, I think Jaden has been such a winner his whole career and always went above and beyond to bring in the win. I believe it's on Adam for last year. When you don't bring in help, when your big signing is a left tackle, and that's it, it's absolute malpractice on Adam Peters' part. He was an absolute loser last year. And for that case, year one, too. That's my opinion. I want to hear y'all's opinion. Do you think JD5 will be injured and we will be having a hard talk at the end of the year? Do you think with these kind of weapons, he'll understand I have to stay healthy? He'll go down and hit Chig or hit whoever on the next run. I want to know your opinions because mine hasn't changed. I think Jaden is a dog. I don't think he'll be injured this year. I think he'll play all 17 games and play out his mind. I think you're looking at the MVP of 2026. But my opinion is only one man. I would love to hear y'all's what you think about our quarterback and what 2026 will bring to him. Now, we were just on Small Talk and we were having a conversation about the Giants. Well, I want to cover that just a little bit over here and talk about the Giants just for a minute. Now, in this division, you have the Eagles and you have the Dallas. No matter what they do, they get a pass. No matter how bad they've been, Dallas only wins 7 games last year, 7 games the year before. They bring in 8 new starters on defense, an unproven defensive coordinator, and an offense that should have put up 30 points per game last year only was able to put up 27.7. Now, will they get it together? I have a suspicion that CeeDee Lamb and Pickens and then we'll start to get it more on the same page and you'll see more cohesion there. But the pass we're giving them on defense. So we're being ranked as what, like the 31st or 29th or whatever stupid stuff that these morons out here are saying. But Dallas is going to the Super Bowl. Our defense coordinator actually has experience operating the defenses at practice and in scrimmages. Theirs has no experience at all. So my big question is, for all the low IQ people that don't understand what I'm talking about, how is it Dallas gets a pass when, okay, their offense put up 27.7 yards per game last year, but Dak went 4 games with no touchdowns, also multiple games with multiple turnovers. And I'm supposed to believe that that defense that was bottom of the line last year and brought in as many new starters as we did with a less experienced defensive coordinator, they're Super Bowl bound. But we're one of the worst teams in the league. We didn't even, as far as these idiots are concerned, we only got a spot or 2 better with everything we did. You can't make this kind of stupid up, and you can't cure it. When you look at someone like Colin Cowherd, and he comes up with these moronic takes, you can't fix that kind of stupid. The man's got too much money, and he thinks he's smart. You listen to most of his takes, and you realize he's not, if you're actually an intelligent person. But if you can put Dallas in the Super Bowl, but yet we're only a spot or two ahead of where we were last year. I can't take you as a serious human being. I can't take you as a real person. Your takes are a little too stupid for most people. So, the Giants. As you're looking at the Giants, this is my most impressive team for the offseason next to us. Yes, Dallas made some moves. And yes, they're returning the same offense. Big deal. They didn't scare me last year when we sucked. Why would they scare me this year? The Eagles never scare Washington. Never. However, the Giants are unknown. That defense is a bully on paper. That offense stays healthy, and it was like Small Talk was saying. They were a top 5 running team last year when Scadaboo's crazy butt was on the field. So if he stays healthy and Jackson Dart can get through that moronic head of his, you can call Jaden injury prone. He's really not. However, this idiot is injury prone. And more than that, he is the bottom of the barrel with intelligence. We're talking a boy that has a concussion every time he walks onto the field, but he's not smart enough to understand don't dive forward. Don't put your head into 240, 300-pound men. Now, this is a true genius right here. So if you want to talk about players that aren't smart enough to go down, let's talk about the Giants quarterback. Because not only has he not been smart enough to go down and protect himself, but he has the intelligence of a rock where he dives forward into men twice his size. So this would be my biggest worry for the Giants. I think they're an absolute bully coming on the defensive side. I think with Malik Neighbors and Mekhi Field and Scadaboo, if their quarterback can stay healthy, could we see a year where we could see the Eagles or Dallas at the number 4 position? At this point in time in the year, it's possible. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I don't really think that's going to happen. But my point is, at this time of year, all things are possible. The Giants coming in second place behind Washington, absolutely possible. Dallas and the Eagles with all their problems that we've been seeing, it's absolutely possible they stump their toe and end up in 3rd or 4th place. You haven't seen these teams presented to a field. You're just going with your feelings. And facts don't care about your feelings. But when I put these teams on paper, I don't see a massive separation between the Giants' talent and what the Eagles, Dallas, and Commanders are presenting. Now, we might be a little more electrifying on offense. And for that case, Dallas is going to be more electrifying on offense. But I'm seeing massive problems from the Eagles on offense. I could literally see the Giants' offense being much better than the Eagles' offense this year. And that I'm not backing down off of. Mekhi Lemon's already hurt. When he wasn't hurt, they were celebrating 2-yard outs that Jalen Hurts almost broke Mekhi Lemon's back because he had to do this weird spin. And they're putting this on the internet, celebrating a 2-yard out. I see massive problems in the offensive side of the ball with the Eagles. I see not massive, but what could be big problems on the defensive side of the ball for Dallas. And I don't think they're secure at left tackle. I just don't. That left tackle last year collapsed a ton. And then they go right back to him this year. Now, could he improve? Absolutely. I'm not going to say no player can't improve. But will he? That's a very important position to wonder about. And while all y'all out there are like, Washington's in deep trouble, Brandon Coleman was better than their left tackle, even in 2024. He was definitely way better in 2025. So I'm just saying, y'all are underestimating the issues that are actually on Dallas and the Eagles. And you're overinflating how bad the Giants could be. They have the talent. The question is, can they put the talent together? Can Malik Neighbors, if Malik Neighbors can stay healthy, he's up there with Jamar Chase, with JJ. He's up there with the best of the best in the league. Now you've added Malachi Fields. You got a healthy Scatterboo. Not a very smart Scatterboo. What are you out doing flips for with a messed up leg? Anyway, he runs like he don't have no intelligence. And if he stays healthy, that's a big plus. So overlooking the Giants so much when they're presenting a bully on defense and what could be a good offense. I think this is that noise we hear every year. Dallas is going to the Super Bowl. The Eagles are going to be great, but they're not always. Dallas has won 7 games the last 2 years. The Eagles are perennial returners, but they have their down years. Is this one of their down years? Will Dallas be able to put it together when they've never been able to? This ain't the first top flight offense that Dak's been given. What is this, like the 4th or 5th? And he still goes home to sit on the couch and watch the Super Bowl? Well, actually, he goes home and sits on the couch to watch the rest of the playoffs and the Super Bowl. He's not a winner. Jalen Hurts is the winner. Even though his talent doesn't scream it on the field, when it's time to win, Dak kid elevates. When it's time to win, Dak shrinks, shrivels like any guy that jumps in cold water. And that's just a plain and simple fact. If you don't like it and you're done, I don't care. If you're delusional about your quarterback, I will give you a sign and words. Choke artist. Just in case you're deaf, you'll understand. Homeboy has never elevated, ever in the playoffs, his team, no matter whether it was a top flight, top 3 offense, and a top 10 defense. He has never elevated his squad in the playoffs. We've seen rookies, we've seen old guys come back out of retirement and elevate teams. But we've never seen Dak elevate a team in the playoffs. Quite the opposite. He fails his team in the playoffs almost every single time. And I know all the Dak lovers are going to come at me. Well, it was Dan Quinn's defense that lost that last playoff. How many interceptions did Dak have? How many interceptions did he throw to put that team that far behind so the defense could fold? So while you're blaming Dan Quinn and the defense, remember, Dak had a huge hand in where that playoff game went. Go back and look at his interceptions. Dak folded like Dak always folds, whether you can blame it on the defense or not. So as I'm looking at this squad on all four of our teams, I'm not taking the Giants and just throwing them in the number 4 spot before I can see anything presented on the field. I'm hearing too much about a nightmare problem at offense with the Eagles, and I've done studying on it, so I know what's going on. And the same thing with Dallas. I've done so much research on these teams. Dallas has more issues than what's being said out in the ether. And mainly that's Jerry Jones. He controls the media in Dallas. That's why I don't listen to the media in Dallas. They are all controlled by Jerry Jones. I go to the podcasters, the ones that go to the practices, the ones that see what's actually going on the field, the ones that'll tell me what they actually think and not going to lie to the whole media and the whole fan base to sell some jerseys, because in the end, jersey sales are so much more important than winning, at least to Jerry Jones. So I'm going to hold my opinion. I do have us winning the NFC East, period. But to put this NFC East in a order that I will stick with, I just need to see the first week played. I need to see Dallas and the Giants hit the field and battle it out. And I need to see us take on the Eagles. So I'm going to tell y'all on here now, I'm going to wait for week 3. That way we see it presented and we watch the game the next week. That way we know we're not just hitting the first game of the year. So in week 3, I will give you an actual lineup to who I think will be 1, 2, actually who will be 2, 3, and 4. Because we will be number 1. Just let's put that out there. That's not changing. But who I'm going to put at number 2, number 3, and number 4, I want to see them first 2 weeks played out, and I will give my lineup, and I will not back off of it. Come week 3, I will do a podcast, and I will stick with that for the rest of the year no matter what. I just don't know what to take from any squad on this field other than ours. I know what we're presenting down to the T mostly. Have an idea what our defense is going to offer. Definitely know what our offense is going to bring. So, but on them other 3 squads, dude, the Giants could be much more than anyone thinks they're going to be. And them other 2 squads, Dallas had that squad on offense last year, and they still only won 7 games. Will their defense improve? It would seem they would have to. But that said, they don't have to. They could actually get worse. We saw the Jets last year. So, what's y'all's opinion? What order would you put the NFC East? Do you still have the Eagles up top? Is Dallas up top? Who do you have winning the NFC East? And what order would you put them in? What do you think about the Giants? Are you just writing them off, or do you need to see what's presented? I appreciate y'all joining me again. This is going to be a short one. I worked all day, and I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about the Kevin Sheen stuff, where he's running out of content, so he's just bringing up whatever one's been saying for a year. Nothing new to see there. Nothing intelligent to say. He's just rewashing what everyone said. But what's your opinion? Do you think he's the guy, or do you think it's an injury problem and we have a long talk at the end of the year? What's your opinion? Because personally, if he's injured this year too, I don't want to go down the same road as the Bengals. I don't want to be Joe Burrow dependent, where he's always injured and never available. But boy, when he's on the field, he's igniting. Don't want to live there. So, do you think we're good? Do you think it'll be a great year and stay injury prone, or do you think we're headed to what do we do? Because these injuries are a real problem. Please leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. Come back and see us. Don't forget to go see Small Talk and what he's got going on. We just put out a show just a few minutes ago. Go check that out. And please keep coming back and checking out the content. We will see you next time, right here on the Gridiron Report with David Wright. Y'all have a great week. I'll see you tomorrow.